Top of the morning. Hello, everybody, and good morning, Rhoda. Thank
morning,
you for
Dougal.
joining us. It is a Mahala Monday, and we're back. It is the 15th of March.
That's right,
Lekker.
Dougal. Yes, can you believe we're halfway through the month? I cannot believe this. March. Crazy March.
When you say it like that, you gotta realize the time don't waste.
Yeah.
It doesn't stand still at least.
Doesn't stand still, Dougal.
Yeah. So it is really great having you along, of course, as per usual, here with the Mahala Monday. We've got lots to talk about, a lot of wonderful things that we feature on the show. And as you know, it is a live show happening
That's
right
right.
now. So whether you've joined us on YouTube or Facebook, good morning. You can interact with us. And of course, the details are at the bottom of your screen at Nickay Productions. And we welcome and look forward to your questions and comments as per usual here on
That's
Mahala
right.
Monday. But we're looking very forward to what we're talking about today.
That is right, Dougal. It's one of the things that affects all of us. So in today as well, we're talking about entrepreneurs, businesses. Exciting.
We will be featuring a business, as we've been telling you in our ad, and as Rhoda has just mentioned. But more importantly, this, I think, is a very, very exciting business.
That is right. It's something that affects every household. And you know what? There'll be a day that you need to call one of these guys. This is the company that we basically going to look at today.
Yeah, so it is really exciting featuring this business because they've been doing an amazing work. Their reputation has been absolutely fantastic, and that is what Mahala Monday is all about. We're bringing you brilliant businesses and great entrepreneurs. So without further ado, folks, let's get straight into the show because joining us today is Kyle Green from Greenz Plumbing and Drainage, and we're talking all of that today. Kyle, good morning, hello, and welcome to Mahala Monday. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it, man. Thanks for having me.
No, our pleasure.
It's our pleasure.
Our pleasure for having you here on a Mahala Monday. Kyle, there's so many questions that spring to mind first up. But let me just start out. Just tell us about your business quickly. Just give us the whole overview of what Greenz Plumbing and Drainage is all about.
Man, the quick little rundown is there's a bunch of guys that are, honestly, I feel like I work for them. They're really, really amazing people. And somehow we've pulled through this difficult year, and now we're here. And I definitely think we're going nowhere. We are definitely here to stay. So it's awesome. It's been such a journey, and I'm so privileged and honored to have worked with the people that I've worked with, and I can only see us going up from here.
Oh, brilliant. That sounds exciting. And as we said, we're going to jump straight into it. So could you tell us, how did the business start?
Right in the beginning, grade 10, there's a thing called job shadow, I believe everyone goes to. And I jumped on the wagon. I said, how's it, cousin? Listen, I want to come to work with you 3 days of the week. And he said, cool, let's do it. It's a little bit messy, it's a little bit hard, but I said, no, I'm keen. I'll do it. And I did the work, grafted 3 days on site, got messy, loved it. It was hectic, went back to class, and the teacher did a little thing and went around person by person. I stood up, I said, I'm gonna be a plumber. I smarted. It was fun. I got dirty, it was hectic work. And then everyone laughed and they carried on, and they went on. I'm gonna be a doctor, I'm gonna be an accountant. And I was like, okay, cool. And right at the end, I stood up again. I said, hey, did anyone else get paid? Because I got paid for my labor. I worked for 3 days. And as a grade 10 student, you don't get paid anything. So I stood up and I was like, oh, am I the only one that made money? Everyone looked at me like, how's this like? How's this like come out of nowhere and make money as a plumber? And that was the trigger for me. I thought from there, I knew, hey, this is it. This is cool. You can make money in plumbing. Everyone else wasted 3 days. I got paid. So I was super, super chuffed. And that was like the push for me. That was the trigger. As soon as when I realized that I could actually plumb, and I was a very average plumber. I was amazing. I did my job. I thought I was putting out quite great work, but I think the people really enjoyed how I worked and my work ethic and all of that. And maybe I was slow, or maybe I didn't work at the same pace, but I did it right. I did my way, and it was a huge advantage because I'm a very naturally lazy person. I must tell you, very naturally lazy, and through my lazy disadvantage, I've picked up that I'm really good at delegating work. and I'm really talented at getting the guys going and the gears, and then that's literally how it all started. There's
Wow.
There's no big boom plan or whatever. It just, I was great teamwork and delegating to the right people, and then blink, and 10 years down the line, and I have what I have today. So I'm super chuffed.
And just looking at where the business is, because the one thing you can definitely see pop through the screen is your gears. I mean,
Almost
there's no
definitely.
doubt about that. And it's just, and I can see that like it is an exciting. How big is the business now? I mean, what are we looking at in terms of the team behind Greenz Plumbing and Drainage? How big is it?
Man, the team right now is 40 plus. I've got about 18 vans on the road. I've got about 13 admin staff.
Wow.
We are opening another branch now in Brackenfell, so I'm super excited for that. So of course, then the team gets bigger, and yeah, there's so much training to start now. This is a really exciting period for us, because now it's a whole nother venture. But I must tell you, 18 vans on the road. There's it sounds cool, it sounds excited, but there's 18 sets of tires. I mean, 18 services. Never mind the two technicians part of it. It is hectic. It is crazy. Sometimes I feel like I'm not even in the plumbing game. I'm just in like the fleet management. It feels like this vehicle has gone for a service, and then it's this, and then something else has gone wrong. And oh man, it's great. I think the vehicle side of the business is just insane. I always feel like there's some. My mechanic loves me, of course, but yeah. Other than that, yeah, no, it's amazing people. As I said in the beginning, there are key staff that has been with me for 5, 6, 7 years now, easy. Yeah. And I often think that I have to report to them and say, like, you know, how's it going, guys? Because they're on it. If you think I'm passionate, you must meet them. They're insane. They are so much energy, so much love for the company. And I'm so lucky. I honestly, I think that's my biggest fortunate situation that I've been blessed with, because I've just found the right people. Didn't have to sift through countless of people. There's no high staff turnover. I was just lucky. Yeah. Very lucky, man. Yeah.
But you know what? I mean, just listening to you and looking at you, the amount of passion, the empathy and the enthusiasm that you definitely show. I'm sure that will run through the business, because that's definitely a top-down sort of gears that would go through the business. But Kyle, let's talk about this, because I mean, you do plumbing. With plumbing, this is all sorts of plumbing needs that may arise. Also, you need to drainage, which is all sort of drainage needs that may arise. For me, as an individual, as a homeowner, or as a business, when disaster strike and I need drainage, or all of a sudden in the middle of the night I need plumbing services, I mean, this is something we just sort of, we pick up the phone and we phone somebody. You know what I mean? And we don't probably do, from a customer perspective, do a due diligence in terms of going through everything. Like, how do we, is there a criteria that a consumer, a customer should use when we decide on using a company like yourselves?
Man, this is such a tricky part, because the plumber name, I mean, the reputations, there's some very unique other plumbers out there that have caused a lot of problems within the market. So people are very suspect just to pick up the phone and call a random plumber, because so many times you hear the horror stories of what they've done, or they've overcharged, or they've really just taken the mickey, and especially if it's a 2 o'clock in the morning stunt or a late Friday afternoon. So what's so important is that, I mean, in that rush, you just want to get a plumber out. That's the end of the line. But it's so nice to see, especially on Facebook, guys are contacting Facebook community pages, and they're trying to just find out a little bit of input from other people, which is key. You know, you don't want to just jump onto the first platform and see a plumber and you phone him, and then you get quite a hectic experience. So I really enjoy the Facebook pages, the community link, and then it's nice to see your name being thrown around in such a positive way, because from a business owner, it's really fulfilling. And then it's nice for other people to witness that listen, I'm not just advertising and slapping my name on everything. There's actually some guys that are very happy with the service, and that's the key thing, is try to get word of mouth, and from someone else is, I had a great experience with Greenz, please use them. I mean, that is most important thing, which is so hard these days because
Yeah.
we barely even speak to our neighbors. I mean,
So
we
true.
glued to our phones. So if we can communicate that way and actually understand the need to ask someone else their input, that's vital, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I just want to just take a step back quickly. As a business owner, obviously running the plumbing business, like you were talking about the vehicles and that. So for you, basically, obviously, you need to get staff and replace staff on a regular basis. So, how do you find the right plumber for a position?
Man, so this is key because you putting someone else with your company reputation in someone else's home. I mean, this is, and like I've always told my staff, you have to respect that house like it's your mother's house. I mean, you're not going to, you don't look around, you don't start scratching through anything. You're there to do a job. You get in, you do the job, you make sure the client's happy, and you get out. There's often I try to ask the clients, ask the plumber to look around, look for other faults, just quotes on anything else while they're there. Because majority of the time, plumbing's job is done within 20 minutes. I mean, let them make sure your geezer's right. Let me do the walk around the house, make sure everything else, there's no funny leaks. A plumber can pick up on weird things. The client or the homeowner will just be so used to it. They see it there, or they see that patch of grass growing lacquer. That's it. It's just a lacquer piece of grass. Meanwhile, there's a little leak under there, and it's been leaking for the last 6 months, and your water bill's slowly gone higher.
Yeah.
And you just haven't noticed it because it's just part of the rush, the rat race that we're all in.
Yeah.
So the key thing is that from a client's point of view, ask the plumber is, hey, can you check my geyser? I mean, because no one jumps up in the roof. I mean, I'm a plumber. I haven't been up my roof in 4 years, so I don't know what's happening up in there. So, and that's key. And the problem is, especially in these hectic times, people don't want you in your house regardless. I mean, so now it's an in and out thing, and sterilizing and making things all 100% and clean. But yeah, it's been from a plumber's point of view, you have to trust that plumber. That plumber must know exactly what's going on. I've always said I'd rather hire for trust than for actual skill, because skill can be taught, but trust is another ball game.
Okay.
And Kyle, just looking at it, the demand, I mean, in terms of what the market dictates, the demand for plumbers over the past couple of years and past decade that you've been in business, have you, I mean, obviously in your business it's grown significantly. And have you seen a bigger demand for plumbers?
Man, yeah, I think in Tableview, that's my area, Tableview, Sunningdale. If you jump onto Google, whatever, I think there's like 27, 30 plumbers in the area, just our little area. So I think it's great to see a lot of guys stepping up and starting their own business and really trying to take it on. The best thing that I've told everyone that I've dealt with, attempt it. I mean, give it a go. I mean, worst case scenario, 6 months later, you fail, you come back, you do something else. You always want to try, give it horns, and see if you can actually run your own show or not.
Yeah.
So yeah, the competition now, definitely there's always going to be a cheaper plumber. Sadly, that's and I've often told that to my clients. I mean, if you want a cheaper plumber, I can give you a list of 10. I mean, it's just, that's how it is. So of course, in every industry there's competition, but we're very fortunate in ours. We've got very loyal clients, and we've been in the game for a little while now. So they recognize the brand, they understand the people behind it, and very, very fortunate.
Good stuff.
And I mean, looking at years, could I ask how many years you guys are in business right now?
I say 12, so it was about 2009, but actually committed Greenz Plumbing business would be 10. There was, in the first 2 years, I was committed to jump on the rigs and do the rigging thing and offshore and all of that good stuff. And very fortunate, I met my wife during that period, and my then girlfriend, my wife now with my 2 kids. So I think I made the right decision and stayed here. And as soon as I knew that the rigging thing was not for me, I was very keen to put some roots down and actually grow something that it is today. So very, very, very chuffed, and yeah, that I made the right decision instead.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it does definitely sound that. I mean, from where we're sitting, we think you've definitely made absolutely right decision. Now, just getting into the nitty-gritty of your business, can you just quickly give us a rundown? What are the exact services that Greenz Plumbing and Drainage would offer?
Okay, so everything that you could think of off the top of your head, anything to do with water, I mean, anything to do with sewage. It gets a little bit tricky because, in my opinion, every single plumbing company needs to do leak detection. The old school, I mean, I had this awesome plumber that held the screwdriver to the pipe to listen to the leaks in the wall. You have to have the machinery. You have to kind of fork out and get that box and make sure you've got everything waxed. So the leak detection is key. I mean, we've got drainage services across the board, the high pressure machine, the drain cleaning services, the rotor routers. We've got a new system called we reline pipes. I don't know. It's been probably on the market for about 5 years now, and I think it's so new. People are a little bit suspect about it because you're basically putting a new resin coating on the inside of your lines. So there's big boys out there that do it, and they've done a great job for many years. And we just scratching the surface. We're trying to get into that market. So yeah, that's where we're at. But across the board, from maintenance point of view to construction to renovation to anything you can think of plumbing related, we can do it. So yeah.
So there's a couple of questions we want to ask you, because I want to actually ask you this, like what would you consider, what was like the most interesting job? And we want to touch base on how COVID has affected you as well over the past few months, and where do you see your business going? But we quickly just want to focus on a comment that came in from one of our viewers, and it came via Hubert Paul. Said, Hubert, thank you so much and good morning, and thank you for watching, and thank you for your comment as always. And Hubert observes that skilled plumbers aren't cheap. However, cheap plumbers aren't very skilled. And he goes on to say that will cost you a little bit more. So how do you overcome that Bucky Brigade mentality? And I think you might have touched on it earlier, where you said really it is word of mouth. It is really, in this business, it does go to reputation. But I don't want to answer for you, but would that be a way of looking at it?
100%, absolutely. I mean, there's no way of competing with the cheaper plumber. The Bucky Brigade will do, I'll charge $1,000 and they'll charge $250. I don't even know how they get to their figures. I have no way of trying to get to their figures. So I've given up to try be competitive when a client says, yeah, but Bob charges me half the price. And I said, well, why are we speaking then? Chat to Bob. You mean if that's what you want, then Bob's your guy.
Yeah.
You mean so I don't try to do that negotiation and try to beat prices or match prices or all of that. So yeah, if they want to go that route, then I'm happy to point them in that general direction.
Cool.
And thank you, Hubert, for your comment as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So at this point, could you tell us, Kyle, what's your next steps for Greenz? What's your next steps for your company?
The next step, my of course, like I mentioned, the new branch in Brackenfell, it's going to be quite exciting. We work a lot in the area, and it's massive. My only downfall, I must tell you, is that my Afrikaans is shocking. Absolutely shocking. It is so bad. It really. So I pretend to know what's going on in the conversation, and then midway through, it becomes a little bit like, "Hey guys, sorry, I've been lost for the last 5 minutes." So that's gonna be my biggest struggle. But again, I've had really good luck at getting quality staff. So hopefully, I'll put an ad out that just says like, no Engelsman. I mean, just need Afrikaans folks. That's it. Please pull in, help me out. So yeah, that's really the next step for Greenz. And then of course, I've always said I'd love to have something bigger and a Joburg based business or whatever the case is. But I think baby steps. Let me see if I can get Brackenfell up and going,
Yeah.
and then I will look at something, a global entity. That would be quite cool.
Yeah. No, listen, we wish you all the success. And we can help you with the Afrikaans thing,
Yes.
man. We can help you with the language. You don't have to worry about that. We just give us a call. Don't worry, man. I got a quick question for you, which came from one of our viewers as well. And it's Chanel de Klerk. And thank you, Chanel, for your question. And Chanel says, and quickly, Kyle, if you could just tell us, how does relining work?
Relining works basically. You'll have to phone one of my awesome staff to tell you the professional version.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they basically plug the outside, well, the inside of the pipe. They plug it with a whole bunch of resin. They push through with a let's say like high pressure air. And they push with that resin that it pushes outside. Well, pushes outside the cracks, the hole, whatever's going on with that pipe itself. So it's again very new product. We've done a handful of jobs. They've all been very nice and successful, which we're very chuffed about. But we don't want to advertise it just yet until we know we know our we know what we're doing.
You know what? I like it because I can already see I will phone for all plumbing needs. Because I've phoned a plumber before in my life. I think we all have. It's like
All
going to
have.
the dentist. You
All
know
of
what I
us.
mean? Everybody has done it. And I think this is exactly the case. But
So
I've got
true.
lots of comments and questions for you.
Oh, lots.
And I still want to know, I want to know an interesting story, some exciting thing you've worked on. I also want to know the way forward for you as an entrepreneur, considering the COVID backdrop that we're moving out on. But quickly, I want to touch base on one or two comments. Piston Pete, thank you very much for sending this through. He says, will there ever be a branch in Somerset West Helderberg area? I think Brackenfell is now geographically probably the closest, but I'm sure you're looking at
Branching out.
Definitely. Piston Pete and I have worked together for a little while now, and he's been a great part of the business.
Yeah.
And definitely, we have been speaking about that. It's very easy to speak about it, but actually putting a building down and putting a whole bunch of people and stuff and keyboards and PCs and tools and everything, there's a little bit of a process to that. So it's on the to-do list, but yeah, I don't, because of COVID and all the disadvantages, I don't really know if that's a 2021 thing, but we can definitely put it on the to-do list. Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. And you got a great compliment as well. And this came in from Jean-Pierre Nel, who says, Jean-Pierre Nel. Was it Neil? Sorry, I'm not sure. It's a bit far from you.
Nel.
Anyway, it says Nel. N-E-L. Sorry, Jean-Pierre. I'm sure they call him JP, so I'm changing his name as well. It says, what a champ, but such an inspirational guy, and keep up the great work and keep doing what you do. I've got a message in from Leon Bashley as well. Thank you, Leon. Who says, amazing how scary it gets when you get an honest plumber, because he said he had a geyser burst a while ago. The insurance actually sent a plumber out, and he was told 1,500 access. Meanwhile, the geyser was still under manufacturer warranty. So if you didn't send the serial number on the geyser to the manufacturer, you would have actually wouldn't have known, and he would have actually paid the money unnecessarily. So he was nearly it was on the touch base, on the borderline there of being ripped off, for the lack of a better phrase. So the point is, this is what Leon is making, is this is where the honesty comes in, which seems to what you've been alluding to. And Hubert has also touched on it and saying that one of the comments is Kyle definitely knows what he's talking about.
Definitely.
So Kyle, listening to all of that, considering the COVID pandemic, as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, I'm sure this has thrown spanners and challenges to you that you never even could have fathomed. How do you see the road forward, and what would you tell, as a business owner, people that want to start out with their own business, and especially in your field? What advice would you give, and also considering the environment we're currently in?
Yeah, from a young plumber point of view, it's hard. It is really hard. You think you know what you're doing a couple of years in, and then something else gets thrown your way. So it's hard, but it's so worth it. I mean, really, it's if your goal is to have teams and your goal is to have this whole big entity, then by all means, it's going to take many years, but you can do it. The one thing I'd say is staff. You have to focus on your staff. Don't just pick anyone. They are a representation of your business. So, and take on friends. I know it's ridiculous, and some people are like, you can't work with family. I work with my father and my brother. I mean,
Yeah.
and it sometimes is exactly what you need. But friends, I've got key staff that's joined the business, and without them, it wouldn't be the same. Really,
Yeah.
so yeah. From starting out, give it horns. It's really hard. It's. Someone told me the other day it's a hockey stick concept. You mean you got to go
Wow.
down to go plateau, and then you go up. So that little down period in the plateau is really not fun to go through, but you have to go through it, and that's part of the whole business experience. Which of course we don't see when we're starting. We just see the cars and we see the houses and we see the helicopters. We're like, I want to be like Addo. That's it. You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but from a COVID point of view, it's been rough. It's really been rough. But I'm again so fortunate. I've not had experiences that my dear friends have had. I know about retrenchments. I know about all kinds of things. There's at one stage, I think I knew about 8 different plumbing companies that went out of the game. Companies that have been functional for 10 plus years, 10, 15 years. COVID really gave them a hiding, and from 21 days to a year in, I mean, who could have seen it? So,
Yeah.
yeah, this has been a hectic experience. At one stage, I was considering getting hazmat suits for my guys. You know, I had no clue what to do because sometimes some people said it's a little flu, and some people were dying from it. So it was such a hectic experience, and again, some of my staff said, "Listen, we're going to try to do the gloves and the this and the that and the masks and the face masks and the." I mean, you can only do so much, but if you want someone. You want someone to come into your house. I had this one client that asked me, could we go through the roof? Like, could we go through the ceiling and then go to the geyser? And I was like, I'm sure we could do that just to avoid bringing this random person in your house. And that's kind of the business. I mean, luckily it was a geyser job, but and the geyser was in the roof, but you can't fix a kitchen sink through the roof. I mean, you kind of have to come into the house. So it was a really struggle, and lots of people said, no. We'll make a plan. I said, well, you can't. You need hot water. You need running water. You can't really go without water. And I had some clients that literally turned off their water for 2 to 3 weeks because they were just petrified of this concept. So it really, from a business point of view, we struggled, and from a from a team point of view, we managed to get through it with all of our staff from 2020 to now. So that's all that I'm really grateful about.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what, Kyle? I can only tip my hat because one of the reasons we're talking to you, and I want to say this to you right at the end, is because your reputation precedes you.
Oh, yeah.
And it is very, very obvious when people say, as a business, Greenz, they're so passionate, they are so aware of everything, and apart from the work quality, which is just brilliant. But we see that passion, we see that care, and all that thing is, and the vibe and the energy, and that is what it's about. That is really what it is all about. So we want to thank you for coming on to Mahala Monday. We want to thank you for sharing your story, and we just want to wish you all the best as well.
Oh, thank you guys so much. Again, I really, really appreciate it, and I really enjoyed this. This was loads of fun, and if ever I get the opportunity to do it again, I most definitely will. Thank you so much.
Kyle, greet everybody from Greenz Plumbing and Drainage, and also we would like to thank Greenz Plumbing and Drainage because they have also made a very generous donation towards the Tygerberg Hospital Children's Trust, which is absolutely wonderful because the Tygerberg Hospital Children's Trust does amazing work, and that is the passion that they have, and that passion comes through, and you could see it with Kyle.
No, definitely. Just a quick one, Kyle. We've actually got a message here from Hubert. He's
still there.
He's still there.
Yeah,
He's still there. Yeah, just a quick one from Hubert. And I thought I have to tell you this one. Tough times never last, but tough people do. Love the what? Jeez. You staff are the best marketers. Good luck with the new branch and the future, Kyle. Oh, brilliant.
Awesome, man. That is amazing. That's so awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kyle, for coming on, and it has been an absolute privilege talking to you.
Totally.
And you know what? When we see Greenz Plumbing and Drainage trucks and buckies on the road, we'll definitely give a wave.
Most
I can
definitely.
tell you that.
Please do. Yeah, awesome. Thanks, guys.
Pleasure. Keep well,
Pleasure.
Kyle. Everything of the best.
Thanks, Cheers,
So- So there you have Kyle Greenz, of course, from Greenz Plumbing and Drainage. And like we said to you earlier, of course, once again, we just want to say thank you very much for making that contribution towards the Tygerberg Hospital
yeah.
Children's Trust, because they definitely do amazing work. But there are two things stood out here. Here's a company, brilliant. And the word kept up, he kept saying it himself. Yes, it's about
Yes,
vibe. It's
the
about doing,
vibe.
apart from the quality, because this is definitely a company par excellence.
Yeah.
That goes without question. But you can see the passion, and this is what makes South Africa great.
That
People
makes it
always say, great, this country great. This is what makes here great.
So
And that's
true.
what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do.
And that's
you know?
what we do here.
Yeah, that is right. So giving you that information to be able to make those decisions at the end of the day.
Yeah.
An informed decision. So make 100% that you're using the right companies.
Yeah.
Like plumbing.
No, and I absolutely love talking to him, and we wish him all the best. Brand new branch coming in Brackenfell.
Brackenfell,
And
that's
now
right.
there's talk of Somerset West and
And
Alderburg and
Alderburg.
Joburg he mentioned.
Oh, I'm telling you. So
Mauritius is coming, baby.
you go for it.
It's coming, it's coming, it's coming. So that is it from
That
us
is
here
it from us.
on Mahala Monday. Thank you so much for watching us today, and thank you for being part of the show. And do remember, of course, great businesses like the one you have just said, definitely support them, because that's what makes us tick, and that's what makes the country great. And once
so
again,
true.
absolutely wonderful. And a special thank you also to Kyle from Greenz Plumbing for joining us on Mahala Monday.
Yes, that's right. Keep well, guys, and have a fabulous week.
Yes, and remember to like this video and share it.
Share it.
And we'll see you soon.